Hello and welcome to the channel. This is Steel City Knives. Right, I've got one of my favourite videos for you today, and I love this series on my channel, and it's just we're looking at other people's collections. So I think this is essentially why we watch YouTube knife tubers in the first place. We love to see what other people are collecting. And this is Ian Rankin, as you can see from the thumbnail. He's a UK knife guy, and he has a phenomenal collection. But first, before we get into the collection, I want to just share the sheer scale of his collection so you can understand how hard this was for me to put together, and but how enjoyable it is as well. Now, we all have to sort of come up with a storage solution, and we want to enjoy our collection. So everybody has a different technique for this, or maybe the thing is sometimes it's down to how much size you have. But the way that Ian's dealt with this is brilliant. I love the way he stores his knives. So let's just take a minute and we'll just sort of go through that, and it'll show you the scale of the collection that we've got here to look at. So he's got a 15 drawer cabinet. So it's a high cabinet and it doesn't take up much space, but it's so well organized. And this is how he's broken it down. So he's got 15 drawers. And then he's got a Chinese drawer, he's got a scout/camp drawer, he's got a canoe/sow belly drawer, he's got a drawer just for brother knives, he's got a drawer for Otter Messer knives, he's got a Sheffield drawer, which is probably just several makers from Sheffield or different sort of makers. And then he's got a George Wolstenholme designated drawer, the IXL, and then a Sodbuster drawer, he's got an Arthur Wright drawer. He's got a USA/Europe drawer. He's got a Barlow drawer. He's got a Rough Rider, Novelty, then one just for slips, and then he's got a blank one that's got nothing in at the moment. I don't know, one that is not labelled up, so it's still got room to move. Now, so that alone is an insane collection and a lot to go through there. But if you look underneath the drawer, he jokes that he's got some safe coins, and I wouldn't put it past this guy to have some, well, I know he has, but he's got a safe under there. And then also, if you look to the left, he's got a desk. And in that desk, there's two drawers. And those two drawers are absolutely jam-packed with Victorinox. So he's got one drawer for his cellar door covers and another drawer for A-locks. And then if that wasn't enough, he sent me some fixed blades. So I don't know where he keeps his fixed blades, but it might be somewhere along there. But as you can see, he's got a lot of room. I love this storage solution. I like the idea of just going in there and just, it's all there. It's all well organised. He's sort of a man after myself. I like that organisation. I like to be able to just go and grab. I know where that knife's going to be. And yeah, hats off to him for that. So as you can see, the scale of the collection. Let's have a look at some of these knives. You start with a collection like that. And you could go into such detail on all of them. This is a guy that probably, I say it to all the people that get involved in this series, they should start a channel up themselves. Ian's definitely one of those people that could do that quite easily. And I always push them. So, because we're getting outnumbered by the Americans and we need more UK guys as far as I'm concerned. So, but right, so where do we start? Let's start at the, should we start at the safe queens? So he jokingly sent me a picture of the safe and then these safe queens. So we've got 4 Michael May knives here. So we've got 2 Barlows, a clip point and a lamb's foot by the looks of it. And didn't open them up, but obviously we've got some beautiful wood on all of these. Absolutely gorgeous. And as you can see there, one's Bacote, I think one's a cherry wood. We've got oak there. But just, and really with Michael May, I'm personally myself, I'm trying to collect all of the patterns that he does. And he keeps adding to that. There's always a little one that he'll post that he does a small run of. So I know if you contact him, you can go through that. He does, there's one that I really like the looks of. It's like a single bladed trapper. He's recently put a spear point up. So it's money and time, isn't it? But eventually that's the plan. I'd like to have one of every pattern that he does. But right, so he's got 2 Barlows in his Michael May collection, one ergonomic That ergonomic is a bit of a special one, really, and it's sort of been passed down to Michael, I believe. But we'll revisit that again on my channel, hopefully. We've got a Clayton Barlow as well. Now, these just look phenomenal. I don't have one in the collection yet. I just love that shape of it. They are quite a high-value knife, but definitely worth it, and they all look phenomenal. So, and then obviously he's got his Taylor's Eyewitness ram's horn Barlow, that buttery translucent, and if you've been watching YouTube for a while, you know what I'm talking about when I say that. But yeah, phenomenal knife. But yeah, I love his Safe Queens, and a good place to start. Look at that selection you've got in front of you there. What a beautiful collection. One to be very proud of. We have a look at his fixed blades. So what I'll do, we'll try and get through some of the ones, and then we'll attack the drawers maybe in part 2. So that the fixed blades. Now, I'm not a fixed blade guy, but I could see myself going down that rabbit hole when I look at these. These are 3 Arthur Wright knives, 1 in stack leather, 2 in stag. Look at them. Look at them. They look phenomenal. Just absolutely beautiful. And the stag looks amazing. That stack leather is insane, but they just scream good quality knives there. And being Arthur Wright, I bet they're pretty reasonable as well. But yeah, look absolutely phenomenal. Just absolutely brilliant. If you're a fixed blade sort of person, then I think you'd need to get some of these in the collection. They just look absolutely brilliant. And what a free to have. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe, you know, I've not really got many fixed blades in the collection. The ones that I do have are very budget, and they do get used and abused. But something like this would just be enough, I would imagine. Look at it. So obviously over in America, they have brilliant buck knives, but this just makes you proud to be English. When you look at these, they look absolutely phenomenal, and brilliant pieces of work here. And what a beautiful 3 fixed blades to have in the collection. So brilliant, brilliant knives, absolutely brilliant. And Ian's got one more fixed blade, and this is from Boca. This is the Grabendusch, and I bet I've absolutely butchered that pronunciation, but this is a replica from a very historic knife. So in 1915, Boca was ordered by the government to come up with a knife that would be good in trench warfare. So, and this is what they came up with. It was supposed to be like more of a compact knife, but yeah, absolutely like an historic replica. So, and it's got the 1920s to the 1930s tang stamp. So it says H. Boca and Co. and then Zolligen underneath with the tree on the left hand side. And then the other side of this knife, it's got a unique serialization because it's a replica. So not to get confused with an original if somebody tried to age it. But yeah, it comes with this beautiful leather sort of sheath. But yeah, very interesting and historic knife, and a great one to have in the collection. Okay. Right, so I was about to wrap the whole video up, and then I sent him a message saying, oh yeah, I've done your fixed blades, Victorinox, this, that and the other, and then we'll revisit the cabinet. He said, oh, they're not all my fixed blades. And as you can see on the picture on the screen, he sent this box. So as you can see there, you can probably see a more there, USMC, the K-bar. But one that really stood out was this Victorinox bayonet. So absolutely brilliant knife here. And he informs me about, obviously, on the tang stamp, V shows that Victorinox made it, and a W shows that Wenger made it. So just when you think he's finished with his collection, he sends you a bucket full of fixed blades. So what an insane collection this guy has. But yeah, some really nice pieces in there. So that the Victorinox bayonet gives us a nice segue into the last bit, because I've already shot it. This is his Victorinox knives. Look at some Victorinox. Victorinox are one of those brands, if you've not started collecting them, don't. It's all I'd say, because it's a hell of a rabbit hole to get down. And they have, like, it starts gently and then all of a sudden you've got hundreds of the things. But they are very collectible. They do a lot of different cover materials. They're just a brilliant knife to collect, really. And obviously Ian is one of these. So should we just I'll put them on the screen there. So they're all his cellar door ones. and then he's got a drawer for his Alox ones, and they are phenomenal. Now, can I just shout out Paddy and Judd did their live recently, and they've raised some very good points. So, and it was a bit of a discussion on a Discord recently, and there was some different opinions. So the colours on the Alox, they're brilliant, and they are brilliant to collect. They do wear off, and people either like that look, distressed look, or don't. Now, if you're a collector and you're just going to store them nicely, obviously it's not a problem. But if you want to use it, just remember they will wear off. But Paddy made the very good point of, sometimes you go out your way to protect them, and you might have like a leather knife slip. And this is very true with traditionals and everything else. You should keep in mind, when using a leather knife slip, leather is good for stropping. It can be very abrasive if it dries out. So what you want to do, and Paddy made the brilliant point, and we all need to keep this in mind, is when you're using your knife slip, put some mineral oil in it, in the internal of it, and things like that, because then it won't. Because what you'll find is sometimes, like with your bolsters and things like that, but they'll become marred up because of that abrasiveness of the. So sometimes it can be counterintuitive. So you bought a knife slip to keep your knife looking in a really good state, but essentially it will just wear within it if you don't keep that leather subtle. And Paddy made that brilliant point, and I think it's one to remember. So if you've got Alox and you're trying to keep it nice and you bought a leather slip for it, just be careful that it doesn't dry out, because it will have the same effect as it being in your pocket, essentially. So yeah, just one to keep in mind. But I love the Alox colours, and I'm trying to get a few more myself. So, and as you can see here, Ian's got a brilliant collection of them. So, right, shall we break down and just have a few? So some of his Celador ones that we wanted to have a look at. He's got this brilliant Halloween Tinker. He's got the Salzburg Mozart one. He's got a Spartan Austria one, the Winter Magic 2022, and the Swiss Spirit 2020. Just a few. And when you've got a collection like this, you have to just think, right, shall we just have a look at these? Or, you know, there's so many to go through. And obviously, people are always going to be different of what they want to see. But again, let's just have a look at the overview. It's just nice. I'd love to pull open a drawer like that. I've got them in wallets, so it's not as I have to dig them out and then open them up. It's a similar sort of principle, but I like that overview of looking at a complete collection like this. It's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, he's got some phenomenal. He's got that Winter Magic from 2023 that everyone went crazy for, and it's been marked up to an insane amount now if you want to try and pick that up. But yeah, Victorinox are a special brand. They're a brilliant one to collect. I think all knife lovers have got a little soft spot for Victorinox, definitely. But yeah, what a collection. Thank you very much, Ian. So what I wanted to do part one as just looking at his fixed blades, his safe queens, and the Victorinox. And then part two, we're going to attack that whole cabinet and go through that. But yeah, brilliant collection. I really do appreciate you letting us have a look in. Like I say, he was very keen to show it himself. He did apologise to me for bombarding me with all these pictures. Never apologise to a knife lover when sending pictures. And again, on my Gmail, the people that send me pictures of their knives, I appreciate every single one, because you know, we're all knife lovers, and I just love seeing a knife. Like, I'm not a massive fixed blade lover, but I've absolutely enjoyed those knives that Ian's got, and sort of looking into them and all the rest of it. So thank you all very much. Thank you, Ian, and hopefully I'll get part two out soon. But bear with me as always. You know, I'm not that well organised. But yeah, thanks all. Thank you, Ian. I think you should have a channel. What do you guys think? I say that to everybody that gets involved in this. But yeah, the more channels, the merrier as far as I'm concerned. It just gives us a bit of variety, and then we can look at all these insane knife collections. So thanks all, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.